Hey guys, Level Cap here, and this week in gaming, Battlefield 2042's weekly missions may be changing for the better, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2 might be revealed sooner than you expected, and much more. This week, players can unlock the Hostile Takeover weapon skin in Battlefield 2042. This is a universal weapon skin, which means it can be equipped on any primary weapon. The assignment is extremely easy as well. Kill 30 enemies while on foot, kill 5 enemies with headshots, and melee take down just 1 enemy. There aren't any restrictions as to what mode you need to play either, meaning you can easily load into Hazard Zone and take down a few AI soldiers to quickly unlock the new weapon skin. EA Community Manager Kevin Johnson also took to social channels to gather feedback on these weekly missions. It appears as though the teams at DICE are looking into the community expectations and what we have liked or disliked so far. The general impression is that the weekly missions are more of an educational tool for new players and a means of showing them the ropes and promoting team play. That tweet has received hundreds of responses so far, and Kevin himself has stated that much of the feedback will be taken on board and implemented for future missions. Battlefield 2042 has also made some changes to the Portal mode rotation, removing 2042 Rush in favor of Bad Company 2 Rush, and swapping out Team Deathmatch in favor of Free For All and Gunmaster. The rotation certainly spices things up for players looking for something new, but many players are disappointed again because Battlefield 2042's Rush was a fan favorite. The reduced player count along with the intense nature of the mode pleased many players who were unhappy with the all-out warfare offering. And of course, players can simply make their own Portal servers, but for right now at least, there's little enticement for fans to do this as XP earned on custom servers is negligible. The hope is that someday these Portal modes will offer full XP, giving players total freedom in what types of modes that they would like to partake in. The hope is that someday these Portal modes will offer full XP without the ability to exploit them, giving fans more opportunity to generate XP with their favorite game modes. Now, unfortunately, Battlefield 2042 has tumbled from one controversy into the next. Comments made on Twitter by one of Battlefield 2042's developers have once again agitated an already anxious and frustrated community. One developer returned to social media by commenting on how fans are pissed that they didn't do enough updates or communicate enough during the holiday break. He then goes on to state that even developers need time away with family and friends, and that things will be addressed when they are 100% sure. Needless to say, many fans were further annoyed by the tone of this message and showed no hesitation in voicing their concerns and frustration. The developer's follow-up tweet resulted in even more backlash, claiming the community expectations are brutal and that things will take time to scope, design, and execute. Many fans quickly pointed out that their aggression was less about the developers taking time away over the holidays and more over the lackluster state Battlefield 2042 launched in, to which the developer responded with an apology, stating that they only wanted to keep fans in the loop but will be more careful in the future. The last communication reads, "Well, apologies to all, just wanted to fill you in on why there weren't updates. I'll be more careful in the future. Happy New Year, Battlefield peeps." Let's hope that EA and DICE have an action plan for 2022 that will put all of this behind us. Industry insider Jeff Grubb has claimed that fans should hear about the much-desired sequel to Jedi Fallen Order in a significant way before E3 this year. Fallen Order 2 is presumably set to release on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, as well as PC, though with shortages in current-gen hardware, a last-gen version certainly isn't out of the question. On his Giant Bomb show, Grubb speculated that Fallen Order 2 will release either later this year or in early 2023. Of course, with development from home nowadays, delays shouldn't come as too big of a surprise. With that said, job listings at Respawn specifically looking for a highly skilled senior software engineer who can help create an incredible Star Wars experience for our players dates all the way back to 2019. So there is hope that things are still on track behind the scenes. Bioware shared an exciting article during the week written by the newly appointed general manager of the studio, Gary McKay. The article touches on how the studio is handling the pandemic as well as their plans for the future. The teams at Bioware celebrated the incredible reception to the Mass Effect Legendary Edition back in May 2021, along with the studio's 25-year anniversary. Bioware has plenty coming down the line, with the Legacy of the Sith expansion for Star Wars The Old Republic arriving on February 15th 15th. More updates are planned throughout the year. On top of this, the teams are hard at work on Dragon Age and the next Mass Effect. Both franchises are being worked on by industry veterans that hope to return Bioware to their former status. For Mass Effect in particular, the article encourages readers to examine this poster released in November last year. Apparently, there are a handful of hidden treats, 5 surprises at least. According to reports from insider Tom Henderson and Twitter user Ralph's Valve, the next Call of Duty title will be Modern Warfare 2, a direct sequel to 2019's reboot of the sub-series. It's believed that the next title will ship around November this year and will see the return of the franchise's most beloved maps. According to Henderson, these maps have been taken from a scrapped version of a Modern Warfare 2 2009 remaster. Of course, only the campaign was actually released to the public. Ralph's Valves has claimed Favela, High Rise, Shipment, Terminal, and Quarry will all feature in this year's sequel. Alongside standard multiplayer, there is rumor of there being some form of attackers versus defenders mode, as well as a third extraction mode called DMZ, though different sources are claiming different views on this. Some claim that it is part of the game, while others claim that the mode never left concept phase. More Modern Warfare 2 rumors include the game coming to both current and last-gen consoles due to the ongoing shortages, the campaign involving U.S. Special Forces fighting a covert war against Colombian drug cartels, and the introduction of more realistic AI bots that will interact with the game world in a more lifelike way. Things, of course, are a little up in the air right now, so make sure you're subscribed for the latest gaming news. And before we get to our final story of today's video, let us know what you think of Battlefield 2042's content and support so far. Are you glad to hear the developers listening to our feedback, or is it too late in the game for that? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Next up, we've got a recap of the major announcement from CES this past week, namely the big players in the PC space, Nvidia, AMD, and Intel. Nvidia took to the stage to reveal 2 new GPUs, the RTX 3050 and the RTX 3090 Ti. The RTX 3050 replaces the 1050 and the 1650 as the champ of the lower-end cards, while the RTX 3090 is the new heavy hitter for Team Green. And while it looks practically identical to the already powerful RTX 3090, the new Ti versions boast 24GB of GDDR6X memory running at 21GB per second, making it 7.7% faster than last year's model. This memory, paired with 40 teraflops of GPU performance, 78 teraflops of ray tracing, and 320 teraflops for AI tasks, means the 3090 Ti should come out at around 10% faster than the 3090 on paper at least. AMD, on the other hand, used its stage time to announce the Ryzen 7 5800X3D. And this is AMD's first processor to use its new vertical stacking 3D V-cache technology, boosting its performance beyond even the 5900X and Intel's Core i9-12900K. Theoretically, it's the fastest gaming processor, a title only very recently self-appointed by Intel. The Ryzen 6000 series processors for laptops were also announced, with of course the Ryzen 7000 series desktop CPUs being revealed later in the year. Intel also shared their new lineup of processors, starting with the 12th gen KS series desktop processor. It boasts a massive 5.5 GHz single core turbo right out of the box. New H series mobile processors were also announced for laptops, claiming improvements in performance up to 40% over Intel's last generation chips. Intel also announces their P series product line, a completely new line of mobile processors for enthusiasts using thin and light laptops. But most notably, more information was shared about Intel's new Arc GPUs, which can actually be purchased from manufacturers right now. Over 50 new mobile and desktop systems were available from manufacturers like Alienware, Lenovo, and Asus. A huge selling point on this new integrated graphics options from Intel is what they are calling Deep Link. It allows CPUs and GPUs to work together more efficiently, delivering much better gaming performance across the board. Not to mention AI in the form of XeSS AI AI upscaling algorithm launching with the Director's Cut Death Stranding game. This allows you to play the game at a much lower resolution while the algorithm uses the GPU's AI accelerators to output a much higher fidelity image. Now, most of these announcements were met with a decent amount of excitement, but not everything was so positive at CES. Razer announced their new Pro version Zephyr mask, which improves on the original by adding a voice amplifier. Unfortunately, it appears as though Razer still hasn't addressed major concerns from the original mask. While both the Pro and non-Pro Zephyr mask claim to be N95 rated, it turns out that their claim has not been officially certified. The filters in the mask may very well be N95 approved, but it may be that the design of the mask itself actually restricts airflow, potentially leading to leaks allowing unfiltered air in and out around the silicone gasket. And that wraps it up for this week in gaming. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.